Hey, this is Augie, Augie's Locker Room. When you come to the store, you're going to see things that you've probably never seen before unless you've been to a museum. Great items that go back to the Rockney era to the present. Website, augieslockerroom.com. Visit us here or the website.
Long touchdown passes to Kyron Williams and Avery Davis, and then a long run by Kyron Williams sealed it for Notre Dame, a 27-13 victory over visiting Purdue. Per usual, I mean, so far, Tim, I mean, nothing comes real easily. They did make some inroads, certainly defensively, where they didn't allow any points over the final 22 minutes, which was a big step forward from what they had done in the fourth quarter. And then 1 for 11 on third down the stretch, which really shut the door on Purdue's offense.
Yeah, and you mentioned Davis and Williams. I think they had 258 of the 343 total yards. It was interesting, Michael Mayer having one catch for 5 yards. You're probably going to see a couple more games where maybe not to that extent, but they're going to be trying to take Michael Mayer out of it. And they had their chances to get more guys involved today. Kevin Austin did not have his best game. Jack Cohn missed him a couple of times. Jack Cohn put one on the money to Braden Lenz that would have really popped it open. You could see the offense evolving a little bit. I think if you're a Notre Dame fan, you just got to be positive about how the offensive line played because they battled against a defensive line that was obviously the problem coming in.
And the stars that we talked about for Purdue all week were minimized, certainly. I mean, George Karlaftis, they had a plan for him. It was Joe Alt wearing number 45 playing tight end, or at least he helped. I thought they ended up knocking Jack Plummer out of the game. They did a pretty good job against him. They ended up knocking David Bell out of the game, and they limited what he did for the most part. And then their tight end Payne Durham. So I mean, all of those guys that we talked about, and they're legit. I mean, they're going to have a good season. But Notre Dame did a great job at taking away their weapons.
Yeah, and their ultimate weapon, Kyle Hamilton, had a heck of a day. I mean, that was the diving interception was amazing, down to punt on the 1 yard line. But really, that fourth down play, I thought that turned the tide of the game because I was watching the play in binoculars. I told you this. And all I could see was a jet sweep going for a first down, and then just this condor came out of nowhere and brought him down, and Brian Kelly said the same thing. Just an amazing play by Hamilton. And I thought the defensive line was finally as advertised for us. 7 different defensive linemen had a stuff in this game, and 9 were rotating. At one point, we're looking at each other like, why are these rotating so heavily? But clearly they had a plan.
Yeah, Nana Osafa-Mensah made a big play, and they need to do that. I mean, they continue to talk about getting more guys in and being able to pace themselves through the course of a game and a season. It's very important, and they did that for the most part defensively. 0 turnovers a day. That was good. They ended up forcing 2. As I said, they knocked out Jack Plummer from the game. And you kept thinking, okay, Purdue might put something together here. But as I said, 1 for 11 on third down. Notre Dame started out defensively, allowing 3 first downs on the first 5 attempts, and then to go 1 for 11 the rest of the way was really outstanding.
They had a very long streak too. I looked over to you. I said their longest gain is 11 yards in this first half. And then at the end of that, at the beginning of the third quarter, Purdue got something going. They were back-to-back 30-yard plays. But then once again, they just kind of quashed it. The defense rose to the occasion most of the time, and I think this is what you're going to see often from Notre Dame now that the stretch is about to start, right? It's been hard for 3 games, and now the 5-game stretch of difficulty is starting.
The offensive line was better. I mean, it certainly wasn't.
Weird, but to say it.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly wasn't outstanding. I'm not sure that the numbers necessarily back that up per se. But it was better. And what happened, one of the players mentioned after the game that I think it was Kyron Williams, as the game wore on, they started having a little bit more room. Mm-hmm. And this is a decent defensive front for Purdue. I'm not sure that man for man it's better than Florida State and even Toledo. I understand Toledo's losing today, right on cue there. But I think it was progress, and it's not going to happen overnight. The idea that one day you're going to wake up one Saturday and the offensive line is going to be functioning like last year's, it's just not going to be that easy.
And I thought they protected Cohn better after a really rough first, 20 minutes. I mean, at some point we were looking at like, man, they just can't do it.
The first play of the game.
The first play of the game was not a good way to start. And, yeah, I thought they protected him better. Kyron Williams, I don't know what to say. If maybe Brian Kelly and Williams overstated a little bit what they're able to do running in the second half, because that was just a remarkable run by Kyron Williams. I mean, he did have a hole. Kelly mentioned that Caden Madden played better today. And they were able to do it without Tyler Buckner in the running game. He made an amazing 20-yard run to help him, but Kelly mentioned he had a tight hamstring, and they had to go with Cohn.
Yeah, tight hamstring, and so that kept him out in the second half, and they had to go with Jack Cohn. And Jack Cohn, it wasn't Jack Cohn's sharpest day, but he had several drops, and he had several beautiful throws. Again, our perspective from the press box on the ninth floor is pretty unique. And when he throws a pretty pass, it really jumps out at you.
Yeah, the ball to Lindsey was gorgeous. The ball to Davis was. I thought his struggles were more early, kind of trying to connect with Kevin Austin. I didn't think Kevin Austin was helping him out a whole heck of a lot, at least from our angle. I thought competitive catches could have been there, but you could tell Cone settled into it too. And he kind of mentioned he could have been more patient. He might have been releasing too soon, and you're not going to admit why that is. It's because the rush has been getting you for the last 5 quarters, but I think that was probably part of it.
Michael Mayer just 1 catch for 5 yards. Kevin Austin was targeted, by my count, I haven't seen the final stats, 8 times. He had a key drop in the second series of the game for Notre Dame. And again, Cone put that one right on the button. It was as if Kevin Austin didn't see it or react to it. So he was not sharp today. I know that Cone threw some passes that were really challenging for him to make the play, but it's Kevin Austin. And in 2 games, we've come to expect that, okay, you're going to watch him go ahead and make that play.
He's probably the least of their worries going forward, but I didn't think he had. I was surprised that Kevin Austin, even though he almost made an amazing catch, leaping down there in the fourth quarter, or in the late third quarter, but that got wrestled away. That's just a play he makes, and that's what people next to us said in the press box. He makes that play all the time.
It kind of fit in with the rest of his day. And we thought at first that he had made the catch, but he didn't come up with it. Notre Dame a 27-13 victory over Purdue. They're now 3-0. We move on to Chicago next week against a stout Wisconsin defense.